Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Isle of Dogs, featuring the voices of Bryan Cranston, Koyu Rankin, Edward Norton, Bob Balaban, Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum, Greta Gerwig, Frances McDormand, Scarlett Johansson, and Liev Schreiber, so I couldn't get all the cast in there, and directed by Wes Anderson. Now, before I get into this movie, I got two things to say. One, I did see this movie twice, and sorry it took me. And I hope it's an improvement when I see it a second time. Actually, I did see it twice, so what am I saying that for? And second, sorry I'm late for coming to this one. It was just because they kept pushing it to limited, until 2 weeks later. So let's just get right into this. We open the movie with a prologue, which is about how Mayor Kobayashi, who hates dogs and is banning dogs from Japan. And I like the note to viewers the humans speaking their native tongue and dogs speak English and the barking is dubbed. I thought that was pretty funny. I do like how the opening credits have that music that's Japanese. I think it's pretty great. And it is supposed to be set in Japan, so what am I saying? I love when they talk Japanese and interpreter Nelson, voiced by Frances McDormand, is saying in English. I thought that she was a lot of fun while scientist Watanabe, or something like that, wants to save man's best friend. And that was a great second opening of this movie. And Spots, voiced by Liev Schreiber, is a character I felt really bad for because he's stuck in his cage. Chief, voiced by Bryan Cranston. Rex, voiced by Edward Norton. King, voiced by Bob Balaban. Duke, voiced by Jeff Goldblum, and Boss, voiced by Bill Murray, are a pack of wild and scary alpha dogs. And I really like these characters in this movie, especially when they eat the humans' garbage. The little pilot named Atari Kobayashi, who's voiced by Koyu Rankin, is a character I can relate to because he's looking for his lost dog Spots. And I really care for the character. I really love the scene when he's introduced to Spots 3 years earlier. It was very heartbreaking and tear-jerking of me as a dog owner and animal lover. Professor Watanabe creates a cure from a dog disease of rabies, and the way that scene was played was pretty funny to me. There was some humor in this movie that might get some kids the wrong way. I did see a lot of kids in my first viewing. I don't know about my second viewing, but the first viewing I remember seeing a lot. So the dogs find Mayor Kobayashi's version of a dog, who is a robot, and she fights it while the others fight the humans to save Atari's life, and they're successful, and they help Atari find his dog Spots, which I like that fight, and that plot is as the plot of this movie. I thought it was very hilarious when every dog sneezed. That really cracked me up. Chief meets Nutmeg, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, who's Felix's mate from what she doesn't believe in, and does tricks when she had a master, and I really liked her as a show dog in this movie because she's a beautiful dog. And we get introduced to Tracy Walker, voiced by Greta Gerwig, who was recently directed Lady Bird, who's a foreign exchange student who hates Mayor Kobayashi because she misses her dog too much, and she's another character I can relate to throughout the movie. And yes, that's my dog you're hearing. I'll make her my guest star. The dogs talk about their favorite food, and Chief's favorite is chili. And I really like how we, the audience, get to know him as a character, and Wes Anderson does a great job with us caring for the character, not only for the claymation style of this movie. We get introduced to Jupiter and Oracle, voiced by F. Murray Abraham and Tilda Swinton, who say Spots is alive and well, find your dog, and to Atari, and the dogs search for Spots, and the adventure that goes throughout the movie is a whole lot of fun. This is why I really like Wes Anderson as a director, because he makes a quirkiness and fun blend together, and it makes a totally amazing version for his movies. And I also really like the relationship grow between Atari and Chief. It makes the movie from liking to loving it. We also get a round 2 fight of the real dogs versus the robotic dogs, and Spots is alive, saves Atari and Chief, and we find out about how to survive the Isle of Dogs and the cannibalistic dogs. And they end up saving him, and they're not cannibals the whole time. And some dogs say there's a rumor, and it's amazing how Spots survived. This is the island, and all this time, I actually enjoyed that twist. I enjoyed that Spots and Chief are brothers. I admire how this movie is about relationships between man and man's best friend. So Mayor Kobayashi on re-election night plans to poison the dogs. So Chief as well as Spots and Atari go to Japan, and as it turns out, there's a dog cure. And Tracy, well as Atari and Chief with someone from the laboratory of Watanabe's, as Tracy gives her a talking after the death of Professor Watanabe, which was sad, but I like the fact that they stopped Mayor Kobayashi from killing the dogs, and dogs can go back and stay with their masters again. That was a beautiful way to end this movie for a beautiful movie. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 9.2 out of 10. The claymation is beautiful in this movie, and I really love the characters and cared for them. And I liked the plot of this movie, and the humor was really funny, and I really enjoyed this movie very much. Go see it. I mean it. Go see it. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for the Isle of Dogs, and until next time, quirkiness.